Okay, so we are converting unit rates, and the first thing that we need to do is determine which unit rates we're converting to. So I am converting miles to feet, and then I am also converting hours to minutes. So I have to look at this as two separate steps, two separate problems almost, if you will. So in order to do that then, I'm going to set up three blank fractions. So I'm going to have a fraction times a fraction is going to equal another fraction. Now since this is a two-part problem, because I'm converting to two things instead of only one thing, I can go ahead and add on the second part. So I'm going to have times another fraction is going to equal my final fraction. So starting out here, my first fraction is going to be my first ratio that's shown here. So I'm converting from this ratio or fraction right here. So I have 65 miles per 1 hour. So 1 hour. So now I need to choose first which ones am I going to convert. Am I going to convert miles to feet first or hours to minutes first? Well, I like to work from left to right, so I'm going to convert from miles to feet first, but it doesn't matter if you choose the other way, as long as you break it down into two separate pieces. So I'm going to go from miles to feet. So I'm going to write miles down here because I always want this to be diagonal from the common unit. So miles and miles are common units, they're the same unit, so I want them to be diagonally from one another so that they can cancel each other out at the end and I'll only be left with feet. So since I'm comparing miles to feet, I'm converting miles to feet, I'm going to write feet over miles. So then I need to decide which one's bigger, miles or feet. Well, 1 mile is bigger than all these little feet. So how many feet go into 1 mile? Well, 5,280 feet go into 1 mile. So before I do my calculations within the ratios, I'm going to cross-cancel some of my units and write down my new units on the next fraction so that I don't confuse myself later. So I know that these 2 miles are diagonally from one another and they are going to cancel out. So I'm only going to be left with the feet here on top and the hours there on the bottom. So now I can go ahead and multiply across. So I'm going to have 65 multiplied by 5,280 feet, and I'm going to come up with 343,200. So 343,200 feet, and then 1 times 1 just gives me 1 hour. So I'm done with my miles to feet now. I have my feet here, and then I need to convert from hours to minutes now, because I have that first part, check that off, I'm done with that. So now let's go from hours to minutes. So I have hours here, so since I want to go from hours to minutes, I'm going to write the hours on top of this new fraction because I want it to be diagonal with the other hours so they can cross-cancel later. And then since I'm converting to minutes, I'm going to write minutes under the hours. And hours are bigger, so I have 1 big hour and 60 little minutes that can fit inside of 1 hour. So now I'm going to go ahead and cross-cancel out my common units. So hour and hour cancel out, and I'm left with feet over minutes. Now I can go ahead and multiply across. So I have 343,200 times 1 right there just gives me 343,200, and then 1 times 60 gives me 60 minutes. So now I have my final units. I have feet, check. I have minutes, check. So I'm done with my conversions, but I have not found the unit rate yet because remember unit rate, the uni, that prefix there, unibrow, unicycle, means 1. So I want to find feet in 1 minute. So in order to do that, I'm going to view the fraction as a division problem, and I'm going to say 343,200 divided by 60, and using my handy dandy calculator I'm going to divide by 60, and my final answer should be 5,720 feet in 1 minute, or per minute, and I'll go ahead and fill it in up there, 5,720 feet per minute. And that is it for that one.